Welcome to Chronic Curiosity, where we have real conversations with real people, from everything to anything, in attempts to facilitate dialogue with our fellow humans, and hopefully your curiosity as well as ours. If you can withstand the show, we ask, most importantly, that you tell your friends and family, but also you can pick up some merch or just donate to the show at chronic-curiosity.com in USD or Bitcoin. If you feel so obliged, you can give us a good rating and follow on whatever podcast platform you so choose. But please feel free to reach out to us on the website or the socials, which can also be found on the website, chronic-curiosity.com. And here we go. That's fine.
Kudos to her, and that is an epic.
Correct. Yeah, after we both looked at you like, the fuck?
I was speaking and it came out quickly, and then I realized that was probably wrong. And here we are.
That's what she said.
I'll make sure to clip it off, though, so nobody hates you for it.
Bro.
Because I love you. I love both of you.
Thanks.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah, ouch.
Casshole coming in hot.
Tone. I got a question for you.
Fred, I might have an answer for you.
You got an answer for me because this is about your past.
Ooh.
No, we're not.
Maybe he doesn't have an answer for you.
We're gonna jump way back.
Oh, I was gonna say
way back.
I need that notebook so I can write something down.
Fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth. No, this is back in the not even nostalgia, like into that phase. When you were a kid, like let's say
back when they were designing my program.
Yeah. Back when they were still trying to get lifelike skin on your robot face. And they obviously got the jawline and the mustache and the facial hair properly.
Maybe that's why people say I'm phlegmatic. They're like, you just don't have that many emotions. Well, maybe I only have as many as they programmed into me.
That's true. A computer can only work as well as the person that programmed it.
It's true. I need an upgrade.
Yeah.
Interesting movie.
Yeah, it is. 10-year-old Tony,
what grade are you in at 10?
Fourth, fifth grade. Yeah, fourth, fifth grade. That's like.
So I was probably in first.
That's a whole line of horse shit. Did you struggle in school?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say I can't imagine that you struggled in school.
No, when I was in elementary, I think I was my smartest ever when I was in elementary. Then I just started getting dumber as I got older.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah,
mine was probably like freshman years when I was like, nope, done.
No, I remember they gave someone the award that had like the best grades all throughout elementary. And one of my buddies, he's actually my attorney. He's a hell of a good. Well, we had him on the show. It was Jacob.
Oh yeah,
Jacob Dean. His whole family had this legacy of winning it, and I think there was like 5 kids or 6 kids in their family, and I crushed that dynasty. I took it from him.
No kidding.
I did. Sorry, Jacob. He didn't care. He got something else
he's far too nice to care.
Oh, he's Dorothy Mantooth, bro. He's practically a saint.
Yeah.
No, he won some other award that was super good, but the kid that thought he was going to win that award, it was for like leadership or just something else. His mom was like so upset and like cried and caused this big scene.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and she caused a big scene one time in the pit, Triway, and the fans were chanting Phyllis Diller. I think she was like a comedian that had some. You have to look that up, Cass. Some crazy hair.
Phyllis Diller?
Dude, can you imagine that? Like, super embarrassing though. Imagine your mom causes a scene.
I was just thinking, like, what's worse than Nick, your parents causing a scene at a sporting event? Causing a scene at like an elementary graduation event.
She's done both.
Could you imagine that?
She's done both. I also won the spelling bee when I was a kid.
Yeah, I didn't do any of that. I didn't care enough. Good for you. You are though. You're the word guy. You're our word guy.
Oh yeah. Phyllis Diller.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that looks
she
like
looks
his mom.
aggressive.
Yeah.
Is it the eyebrows?
Bro, that's like the origin of Karen right there.
Yeah.
That's the Prometheus of Karen.
Oh, Jesus.
Holy smokes.
Is that it? Looks like some kind of horror movie.
God, they had some great drugs back then.
Horror movie. Horror. Oh, Jesus. Okay. All right. I got what you're saying now.
He did say she's a comedian, so.
Yeah, so she's going for it. That's wild right there. It looks like a fucking rooster.
Yeah. Someone banged a bantam.
Oh, no.
Okay, sorry for that tangent, but 10 years old.
Yeah, so I think I'm probably like in my room playing Legos, G.I. Joes, probably at that age, maybe probably right into the point where like you're starting to like discard the G.I. Joes and like I'm taking things apart because I just, I think I can put them back together and make them work, but I just want to see the insides of stuff. Not living things. That was never my gig. Just saying, structural things, taking up computers and shocking myself. I did that one. I took a TV up. I think I took a tube TV apart once, and I probably still had it plugged in. And fucking.
I thought you were going to say you licked a 9-volt battery.
Oh, I've done that. All the time. That's how you test if they're still
drop
good.
The penny down the socket.
I just it's like
stuck a knife in it.
Yeah, but so what did 10-year-old Tony's room look like?
Oh, okay.
Was it?
It was pretty well kept, and so my dad was a carpenter, and he built this bed, and this bed was pretty sweet. So it looked like a bunk bed, but it didn't have a bed underneath it. It just had an elevated bed on top.
Oh, okay.
And then it had these inserts for books, like it had a bookshelf, and then it had a toy chest, this big toy chest that you pull out.
Oh, okay. I got you. Oh,
never mind.
Nope.
No, don't touch it. Don't touch this.
Okay.
So no, it had this toy chest you pulled out. So what we do is we'd pull that toy chest out and we'd take a sheet and we'd drape it over that and make a fort. Naturally. And then we'd crawl underneath it. And it was our little hideout. It was like a little hangout area. And I don't even know why we had this. I feel like my dad probably did something shady or stole it from somewhere. Just because we were a very like low middle class family, but this was pretty high tech back in the day. So I had it was a small TV. It was in a box like this big, and it had a handle, and it was heavy as hell.
Was it like the box was separate, or it was like made in the box? Because back then, made in the box, the entertainment stand,
made in the
all
box.
that stuff like came with the TV built together with it.
It was made in this box. And
all you youngins out there,
the screen was probably this big. So it was like probably a 7-inch screen,
right?
And it had a
built-on entertainment system,
and it had a VHS player.
Yeah,
and we would pop that thing out. We'd put our tapes in. We'd watch like Top Gun underneath there.
Oh yeah,
sing Highway to the Danger Zone
you
underneath this
fort. Your eyes
oh yeah,
anymore when I kiss your lips. I sang that probably just as bad as they did.
Yeah. But yeah, no, so it was pretty sweet actually.
A legit layout.
It was a legit layout. Let me think. What else? I had a.
Your dad was a carpenter. Why did I have this like vision in my mind that your dad like probably busted people's kneecaps for like collection of money or something?
So he actually did do that.
Yeah. Okay, I feel like did I maybe hear that somewhere?
Carpenters have tools.
Yeah,
they have 2x4s.
Yeah.
So especially when they're
they make baseball
underwater.
Bats.
So
that was one of the things.
Disposals?
That was one of the things. But no, he did that. He said he collected. I think I actually don't know if he said that. Allegedly,
collect calls. He made some collect calls.
Someone said that he may have collected for. I think there was a gentleman in the Youngstown area named. I think his name was like Franklin Teen, and I think he was the boss back then. But yeah, he would collect some debts.
That was a hot route through there.
I feel like I was reading between the lines when your sister was on.
Yeah,
that's like
for sure.
But now I have to
that connection.
Remake this image of him also being a carpenter.
Yeah, but no. So then he did the underwater demolition. So he was in Vietnam. Right. He was at UDT. I think he was a CB first actually, and then UDT, construction battalion, and then underwater demolition, and then he was a cop. So he was a cop for a while. But while he did
was he like a sheriff or was he an MP? middle of
No. He was a deputy.
Okay,
I
so he
think.
came out and he was
came out and he was that, and then he did undercover narcotics. So he was with Medway for a while. He had a sweet stash, like awesome fro-like hair.
Mustache, not like
Not
drug
a drug
stash.
stash.
You said he was in narcotics.
I mean,
so just to
whatever.
clarify.
Whatever. I thought this was a safe circle.
Hey, no, this is absolutely a safe zone. I was just trying to clarify.
I'm just
Do we need
also
clarification?
trying to
Okay.
fill in this picture.
Don't need
now.
clarification.
Dude, he also told me he never did cocaine in
It's
his
ambiguous.
life. Horse shit, Dad. I asked him that one time when we were old. He's like, I couldn't tell you the truth. You were young.
I was going to say, you're telling me I'm not trying to besmirch any Vietnam vets, but there were a lot of drugs done in Vietnam. If you got out of there without doing something,
I remember my
more
uncle.
props to you.
My uncle was a tunnel rat. And I asked him.
Jesus,
Oh,
seriously?
yeah. Oh, dude, they sent him down the hole with a 45.
That's fucking...
Yeah.
I think probably the scariest thing I think anybody could ever do.
Well, I asked him that. I said, man, like, how could you... He always goes, he kind of looks like me, actually, when I have a beard. Like, it's crazy, but he goes, Ant. That's what he calls me. He goes, Ant. He goes, I was so high on everything I could get my hands on. He goes, I didn't give a fuck. He goes, I'd go down there, and he said, if it breathed, he said, I killed it. I was like, oh. So, but it didn't matter, man. I mean, he said over there, he said everything was trying to kill you.
Right.
He said, I didn't care what it was.
Yeah.
Anything. He's
You
like,
have to.
animal, human, whatever. He's like, I was killing it.
Yeah. Anything. I don't know. Did they have an actual name, the tunnel rats? Like what they...
I'm sure
they called them something.
Yeah. I'm sure they had some
that's
specific acronym.
That's one of the... Fuck.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably the scariest things I could think of ever doing.
Hey, go down this hole with creatures, animals, booby traps.
Yeah, massive
Viet Cong.
booby traps. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a whole army underneath there too. You just never know.
With a pistol.
With a pistol and like literally like claustrophobia at times. But I'm not even claustrophobic, but that's...
Yeah.
I'd rather dive underwater. I'd rather drown.
You know.
Like that's fucking frightening.
Oh.
And not only that, but too, like you said, everything's over there trying to kill you. I just had a conversation. Was it this week? It was sometime this week.
Yeah.
Relatively recently. But like the whole idea of like, you know, I've talked to a lot of Vietnam vets. They're like, you know, discussing a certain thing, but then they're like, I always like, about the safety of something. It's like, yeah, well, they told us fucking Agent Orange was safe too.
Yeah.
Like, and all they were trying to do with that was defoliate vegetation. And now I wonder what the death rate, I wonder what the ratio is of people that died fighting, like Americans that died fighting in Vietnam
Versus, it's like secondary.
versus secondary conditions of after Vietnam.
Well, I mean, fast forward, man, to like the burn pits and shit. Well,
Yeah.
I wonder how many people
Yeah.
have lung issues or.
Yeah. And that's happening in Iraq and Afghanistan
Yeah.
too. Oh yeah. But yeah, just like from Agent Orange and burn pits and everything else. And suicide,
Yeah, I
drug
meant,
abuse, and
I meant burn pits like modern day is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like the same thing's going on.
yeah, so it's a similar situation that these, you know, men and women over there are just breathing in toxic shit all
yeah,
day long.
not good. But no, so I had that.
Speaking of toxic shit in your bedroom, right? It was nice and clean, right? So I don't remember where you were going with that.
Oh
Because
no, I was
interrupted you.
we were just talking about my pops, like
Right.
building this and being a carpenter, and so we took a little trip down memory lane as to the other vocations that he allegedly did. But no, yeah, I had the bedroom, the bed, the thing was sweet. I had a little kind of like corner table with a fish tank on it. Had some fish there for a while.
Is he just like? I feel like he's just like messing with me as an avatar because seems very similar to my kid's room. Like the bunk of the bed that I built up on top, and there's a fish tank, and there are no drawers.
I actually saw your memories. I'm just
fucking
naming
with
your
me.
room. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess because that was why I asked, because my bedroom, like, you couldn't see the floor. Literally, because I just had everything out. I was a fucking disaster. And my mom would be like, all right, gotta clean your room this weekend. Can't come out until it's clean. And Sunday evening rolled around and I'm still in there. Like, I found that, like, as I'm cleaning, I'm like, fine, I'll clean my fucking room, Mom. But like, you start playing with stuff, you
No.
just get so distracted. That's basically entirety of my childhood was you have to clean your room, and then I would spend the rest of the next 4 weeks cleaning it and playing, and then getting it dirty again. I'm just that chaos mind. But good for you. Sounds nice and put together.
It was. But I even had to vacuum my room.
Ooh, did you get to do? You get to do it yourself?
Oh yeah, I would vacuum. I'd clean it. I'd vacuum.
Look at you.
I mean, I was a pretty tidy kid back then, so family ran a tight ship.
Yeah, I guess from hearing stories about your dad.
Yeah.
You have to.
I remember that.
I like my kneecaps, Dad.
Yeah, right. I had that and my ass not being paddled with the custom-made paddle with the grooves that fit
That's
his
right.
fingers.
You mentioned that before.
Oh yeah, because my mom she'd use the spoons, and I'd laugh, and she would just break them over my ass, and it would just make them more mad. Or she would like grab me and shake me, and I would just laugh even harder too. But my dad had that paddle, and that thing was no joke.
Pretty serious.
Yeah, I mean it was a weapon.
It was a weapon.
It was a custom made piece of wood to beat ass with.
Literally, this is my ass kicking paddle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever got. Beat with anything substantial. I remember a couple I got though.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm good. I don't need to go. Maybe that's what it was. It's like that logical thought process in my brain was like, okay, this isn't fun. I'll go try to not do that again.
Yeah.
I get beat too many times. Probably not enough, honestly.
I said that was today actually. I was watching Dazed and Confused, and they were going after the freshmen, kind of hazing them, paddling them.
Right.
Which obviously would not be remotely acceptable now.
No
but I'm like, you know what? Maybe more kids do need their ass beat.
I think there's you need something to be able to learn some kind of consequence. And I know it's not necessarily a popular opinion, but when you have a kid that I'm just so in the last couple years, our kid's been getting old enough to be able to like logically reason with.
Yeah.
But that's, 8, 10 years old. But when a kid's 3, you can't like logically reason with a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
It's like a dog. I mean, whatever you want to think. Like kids are like dogs, except they get older and they gain more, mental capacity.
Usually.
I guess.
Usually.
Yeah, usually.
I met some out there.
I've known quite a few. But yeah, but you know what I mean?
What's your saying on the evolutionary scale?
Oh yeah, some people just don't climb as high on the evolutionary ladder. It is what it is. But for the most part,
hanging out on the low rungs.
Yeah, the ladder just doesn't. What? What are you shaking your head over there for?
You just speak about that, and there's all these images that come to my mind of people.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that I haven't slipped on the ladder a few times, or like tried to climb a ladder that was just too big for me, because that's out there too. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you're just sometimes it's like you were given a ladder when you were born. It's like an imaginary ladder, but is that a step stool? Is it a 6-foot ladder, or is it a nice like one of those giant like 30-foot extension ladders? Or some people get a fucking scissor lift. I think I would, if I had to guess, I don't know. I think I got like a nice like maybe like 15 to 20 foot extension ladder. If I had to, I'm not getting all the way to the top of the building, but I can clean some windows, God damn it. See what I have to deal with? And then she gets upset when I won't even call you out on what you just did. I'll let people ask you about it.
Dude, I gotta take a leak, bro. I've been chugging water, man. I'm sorry.
5 minutes.
No, we're not. But I ran and I was chugging water, so
that's cool.
1 sec.
That's all right. But like even the kids that hate cleaning their room, once you get it done, it's like, oh, this is so nice. Everything's organized. Everything's where it should be. Like it's clean. Like I know how to like reach and do and all the things, and you have this. It just seems like you just have so much more space in your life when your room's clean. And it like as I put the shirt on and from cleaning, you know, in the morning, it was like, oh, it just hit me like I've known it, but like that his whole thing of like clean your room, tell the truth. Like it's just like get the clutter out of your life.
Yeah.
Period. Like whether it be physically, you know, clean your room. It's a step. Make your bed. Like do these things to like to kind of set the tone. You know, the closest thing to you is like your room because that's, you know, people sleep, all these things. So it's like clean your room, structure, you know, your environment how you want it. So it's clean, it's organized, so you know you can operate easily. So it's the same thing as like, you know, telling the truth, you know, in your emotional life, like just having everything organized. So it's like you don't have to go, oh yeah, I got that. It's or oh, like trying to like, because a lot of times people I noticed like I don't remember what happened, but I noticed it this week. We were talking about somebody that like you start out with this small little lie or this little like clutteredness in your life, and it just slowly builds and grows because like you keep trying to live with this obstruction. It's like or even the same thing as like a cancer. You know, you start with this little obstruction in your life, and if you let it go and you ignore it, it just keeps growing and growing and growing, and eventually like these things can wreak, you know, massive havoc. And it was like, oh, like I knew that's kind of what he meant by it, but like it really hit me like, oh, that's what he meant. Clean your room. Because if you can clean your room, then you can start the next thing and you can do the next thing. But if you can't even like keep your own bedroom clean, then how are you going to try to even contemplate like having control over your entire life? And it was like,
Sounds like you could apply that to certain nations with good housekeeping.
a lot of people in general clean the shit out.
Well, I meant us. Just, yeah.
Yeah, of the government. Clean the shit out.
Intervening on other people's behalves when we need to clean our own room.
Yeah. And that's the struggle. Like I just saw, what was it? It was like $13.5 billion to Ukraine. Like, and I'm not saying that like the people in Ukraine don't deserve support, but we talked about it during the whole pandemic thing. It was like, hey, we need, or like they kept, you know, rapping on, you know, how we need to support our citizens and this, that, whatever. And we're closing down businesses. So we're going to like support our small businesses and our, you know, community. And then they're sending billions of dollars to other countries for COVID support. Fucking what?
Bro, how are you gonna only make your $400,000 a year, but then make your $200 million a year? You got to fund a country that you already have ties with. Come on now.
Yeah.
Or that your son is in bed in oil with.
Yeah, it's. Yeah.
Come on now. We got to pass these $1 billion packages so that we can figure out how a politician goes from $200,000 a year or $400,000 in his case up to millions or billions.
Yeah, it's fucking like how have we let it get to that point? And what can we even do about it? That's the hard part. Like how
I don't know that you
what are we
can.
supposed to do?
Yeah,
like,
I don't know that you can do too much. And this was actually somebody and I were discussing this, like FU money, basically.
Right.
And they were like, "Man, if I had like $5 or $6 million and everything paid off, like that's FU money to me." And I was like, "Yeah, that's not FU money to me." I said, "FU money is you're basically immune to laws."
Yeah, that might be retirement money.
Yeah,
but only if you play by the rules.
Yeah, and I said, dude, like people that are in that category that probably have the billions, like, dude, there just aren't rules. Like they make their own rules. They're like immune to laws.
Yeah, and I would even say like there's even the richest people. You're still not immune to it all. Like I
play that out. Play that out once. Like
yeah. So I mean, even
figure out what you're not immune to. Because
so
I mean,
I think this is easy if you go all the way to the opposite end of this, like all the way to the finish line. Putin. He's probably one of the richest people in the entire world.
Oh, yeah, big time.
But he's not completely immune. I mean, obviously he did, you know, some things to get him the rebuke that he's getting, but he's not entirely immune. If you know, but at the same time, he could probably walk away from it all, just take his money and fucking retire on some, wherever out nowhere. Like he has enough money that he could do that. But obviously he's, I think it's safe to say, if nothing else, like he has some narcissistic qualities. You know what I mean? Like, but if you had that kind of money, like you really could be maybe not immune. You're immune to laws as much as your money will get you there. But it all depends on what you want to do.
Yeah.
Like what kind of laws are we breaking? Like, are we talking about like the Geneva Convention? Because, other countries might not care about the Geneva Convention until you start fucking with them.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, is a part of probably what we're saying. Like, but you're not immune to everything.
I'd say pretty close.
A lot.
I mean, it depends on how much money you had.
You're immune to most.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say that. You're definitely immune to most. But you see those, I bet a lot of the Russian oligarchs never thought that they'd be seeing their yachts and shit taken away.
Yeah.
And just locked down. But I did see it. Well, I saw a chart today. What was it? It was like where Russia keeps all its money, all its billions. And they had like 127 billion in gold. And that was like their biggest stockpile. And
really?
And then
it was only 127 billion.
Yeah, and like basically like quote unquote like liquid funds.
That's probably like 126 billion more than we have in gold.
Probably 128 billion more than we have in gold. But like I think, and then like I can't remember, there was something else, and then I think France was the top country that they had money stored in their banks, and it was like I want to say like 50 billion. And then they had like 30, like there's a couple different like countries and whatnot. And then US was probably like 7th on the list of like 38 billion, if I remember correctly. But like, so that's where, like, that's the thing. Like, what do you do with it? What do you do with all your money once you get it? Like,
I
don't know. Not that I'm ever going to have to worry about what to do with billions of dollars. I don't ever foresee that one being an issue, but I don't know. I mean, how much money would it take for you to just like disappear? Not like disappear as in like witness protection, but just be like, yeah, I'm done participating. I got it. I'm done participating. I'm out. Or because some people would be never. It's never enough. You know what I mean? But like, is there an amount that you'd be like, I'm done participating in this, financial economy or whatever rigmarole?
Oh, I mean,
cashing out.
I would say, I mean, for me, there's never an amount, and it's not because there's never an amount. Like, I don't need billions or anything like that. It's just like, I wouldn't really want to check out because
Chad's here. That's who showed up.
Yeah.
Oh, you're hearing? Okay. Yep. Practice.
Sweet.
He's going to be here forever.
Well, what about when Chad talks?
I mean, you just swing the mic in front of your face, Chad.
Cool. Hi.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah. There's no. I don't have the cameras on there on that angle. We're doing a short one anyways because Tony's got a. Oh, gee, I thought that was. Tony's got a. He can't stay too long, so we're doing a semi. I don't know where we're fucking going with any of this, honestly.
What are you guys talking about?
How much money it would take for you to be like, I'm checking out,
like a
disengage,
or what?
no, like disengaging from.
That's what I was going to ask you. Disengaging from what?
From
I got to do this.
Participating in the workforce, or
yeah, like just like completely saying I'm done trying to make money. Like I'm not going like beyond fuck you money.
I mean, so could you still do some of the same things just gratis, or I mean pro bono, or I mean, because I enjoy some of the things I do that help people, and I feel like I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah, no, I mean like saying, all right, I'm no longer concerned about making money, and I'm no longer making an attempt to do it. So anything that like has any type of influence on, I'm doing this, even if it's partially because I'm getting paid for it. Like I'm done like thinking about money. Like how much would it like? Is there like a set amount?
So like you're not allowed to work.
No, not allowed. Just you're like, I'm done. Not allowed.
Oh, like retirement age.
Yeah.
Or just like you're talking about like.
Yeah, but even when you retire though, you're still working. You're still considering like, all right, well, like I got my 401k, like my Roth IRAs, like I got my investments. I'm like, but if it was just like I'm done considering financial things,
I guess it all depends on how much money you need, right? So you have to think about what's your daily expenses and what's your.
That's the whole point.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying. Like, how much money would it take if someone would have said, "I'll write you a check right now. All you have to do is for the rest of your life not."
Gosh, that's
concerned
that's
about
a question
money.
for Mandy. She does that stuff all day long.
Yeah, but you could. If you wrote me $1 million check right now,
Not enough.
I could do it. Unless,
Yeah, but you have to make that million work for you for the next 30 years or whatever like that, or 60 years.
Right, but there's a difference there. Like engaging in that whole rigmarole and then saying, "All right, I will take this $10 million. I'm going to build me a self-sustaining ranch out in the middle of nowhere that I am completely disconnected from society."
Well, here's what you do. You take half of that, 5 million, you put it in the stock market and you let it grow for you. Or you put it in other things and let it grow. Then you take the other 5 million, build the stuff you need to build, and then take that into like chickens and all that.
No,
and
I get that.
Enterprise. Yeah.
I get what you're saying. But I'm saying to completely forget about investments and trying to make money. Because if you're investing, you're trying to make money. So enough that somebody said, "I would give you this right now, but you can no longer attempt to make money for the rest of your life."
It takes self-control.
Chad says it out loud. Oh shit, that takes self-control.
Well, think of anybody that wins like the lottery, man. I mean, look at them. They just can't figure it out. It's like most people that win the lottery, they are bankrupt within like 5 years, right? And
is that what that is?
It's something crazy like that.
You got the keyboard, bro.
Oh, I can look it up.
Yeah,
okay.
You're the Googler.
I'm new at this job. Okay, hold on.
But if somebody if someone was like, "I'll give you $10 million right now," would you walk away? Like, but you have to like not actively try to make money for the rest of your life.
No, not 10 million.
So what would be your number? If you was like, here's your lump sum of cash, you have to walk away forever.
Yeah, I'm actually at like a couple bill.
Couple bill?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I have reasons for that. So I have reasons
you like
for that.
To share?
Yeah, I mean, so that I could bring other people along with me to present them with the same offer. Otherwise, I'm going to be bored. Like, I want my friends to come along with me and not have to like worry about that. And so I could probably bring enough people and do that same thing too, where they could check out.
So what you're telling me is
yes,
Hawaiian shirt cult.
Yes.
Yeah, right? That's the whole plan the whole time, right? Hawaiian shirt cult. Yeah.
The bush.
Where are we putting what's the location? What's headquarters? Hawaiian shirt cult headquarters.
It's going to have to be strategic.
Is it like an island? Like a close island, because you can't be too far island.
Yeah.
Because you still have to get supplies. And that's expensive.
Yeah, and who are your neighbors going to be?
Well, if you're on an island, fishes. There's fish. The fishes.
There's a ES in fishes, but it's used specifically.
All right, I got it, man. So I think it's 3 to 5 years. They said that 55% of those who play the lottery at least once lose it all. I think that's right.
That win the lottery?
Oh, here's why lottery winners go broke. So yeah, I think it's like 3 to 5 years is like on average when they go broke.
That's wild. Could you imagine that? Even if it's like
1/3 of lottery winners eventually declare bankruptcy.
Gee, that's even worse than broke.
Yeah,
because you can be broke but not declare bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Because trust me, I've been there.
Yeah, like
I know what that is.
Like completely broke.
So 33% of lottery winners end up declaring bankruptcy
in 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5.
That's millions of dollars, man.
That's
gone.
That's saying a lot.
That's hard to spend.
That's
a lot of cocaine and strippers, man.
No, I mean you could. Well, it depends on what because even the highest ones are what, like 500 million, half a bill. Like that's pretty much.
That's a shitload.
No,
of money.
I'm saying that's the largest one, though.
Oh, I could easily spend that.
I'm just saying, $10 million, and then you quit your job in 3 to 5 years. Think of how much that is.
Right? I mean, $5 in 3 to 5 years from now. That's wild, though.
That's
think
$3 million, $333 million a year you'd have to spend. That's like buying a Lamborghini, a house, and some other bullshit every single year for 3 to 5 years.
And then
that's $10 million.
Yeah, but not only that, but they're declaring bankruptcy.
Yeah, they ain't got shit.
So they're
hold on. You're spending how much every year? And you started with how much money? You said
so. If you started with $10 million,
yeah,
and you lose it all in 3 years, that's
Yeah, 3.3.
$3.33 million.
Yeah, I thought you said 333. I was like, whoa, hold on.
No,
a second.
No,
sorry.
3.3.
Yeah.
I mean, I could spend $3 million.
Yeah.
right here.
I mean, did you get into real estate? That's like easy to do.
But that's the thing, though, is they're declaring bankruptcy. So, like, not only do you have to.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, so think about it. You never had that money before. Like financially, you're probably low middle class, so you're not around people that know how to invest. Then you have everyone wanting to take advantage of you.
That's where it's at. People
Yep.
taking the money.
Yeah.
All your attorneys, all
Yep.
your lawyers,
Accountants, advisors.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, well, you need this.
Oh, your friends like, hey, so I need a new Civic Type R.
It's got a quarter intake. It's got to be a Type
Yeah,
R.
I heard you guys talking about the Integra thing. I was like, oh, I wish I was there. I know everything about Integras.
Yeah, but still, like I just can't. It says a lot about the human condition.
You know,
To me, that's.
Well, what is it? I mean, you give somebody, I think they said you take all the money away from everybody in the United States, right? And then you give everybody the same basic income. The same people that were poor, they're going to be poor again. The
Yeah.
same people that were rich, they're going to get rich again. So it's
for the most part.
I think that they did a little study like a.
No, I get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If they're going to say every single person that's poor will be poor again, that's fucking horseshit.
No, I'm
Because there are poor people that
Yeah.
that pick themselves, like that just come out, pull themselves out of poverty,
Yeah.
even without the handouts. So there's.
I mean,
but
I think
the
that
majority percentage, I would agree.
yeah, but it's crazy to think that though, because then it's like, it's a mind thing. It's all in your
As
head.
I say, it says a lot about the human condition.
There was something I saw on a Snapchat. It was like the guy was talking about how just we're different, right? He was driving a Lamborghini and he's like, listen, he's like, a Lamborghini is an investment. He's like, you buy a rare Lamborghini new for like $200,000. And in 2 years, it's worth $300,000.
A rare Lamborghini,
Right. But then you sell that rare
Not them fucking
Lamborghini.
Porsche Boxsters.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, no,
two
it's
years,
unfortunate.
2 years ago, any Lamborghini would have appreciated.
Right.
Yeah, everything is
Everything. Oh,
appreciated.
you have a Prius? Oh, it's
Yeah.
worth way more.
Yeah, my
This-
phone case appreciated.
This quarter glass of whiskey would appreciate in
Within
2
the last
years.
like 30 minutes you guys have been here.
Yeah, it would if I covered it and sealed it. It is
No, but they were
appreciated.
saying that so you sell that Lamborghini, you drove it for free and made $100,000.
Yeah,
I'm
No,
like, sign me up, baby. That sounds awesome.
yeah. Well, we've talked about that. Like that's why people buy paintings and real estate. And
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
cars.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Because it's
Stores of wealth.
store of wealth. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I mean I don't know. This whole thing's just been. I'm not sure where it's going or
I
where
just
it came
jumped in
from.
and started getting hyped.
Yeah, it's
So-
just Chad fucking showed up. I don't-
What do you think is going to happen then, man? I've had a couple of these conversations with
as far as
the economy and the Fed saying, "Hey, we're going to raise it 7 times in a year." Obviously, trying to stymie that inflation. Do you think that it's not even going to touch inflation, and then more people are going to go, "Hey, now we can't afford these houses,
I don't
or
know.
we can't afford these interest rates"? Which I think the mortgage industry follows is it the 10-year Treasury? Is that what it is? So
I
it's
don't
not.
know.
It's not. I don't think it's directly the Fed, but I mean, you think it's going to stop inflation? You think it's
No.
going to smoke the economy? Like, what?
I
You
don't
think they're really going to do 7 actual raises?
I think they are.
I have no idea. So to me, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know a lot about what happens when the Fed fucking raises the interest rates because they haven't done it in the last 2 years.
3 years, I think.
3 years,
Yeah.
whatever it is. Like I don't. Yeah, I'm not sure. But I don't think inflation's. I think we've gone past. Oh, how about this? So I've used this analogy before plenty of times that we rubber band, right? Whatever it might be, social issues, financial issues,
Yeah.
you know, as a whole, as a group, we rubber band things. So that means we go so far one way that we don't like we've talked about social issues. This
Yeah.
way, like you push so far one way that and once you realize that you've pushed so far, you end up society ends up snapping back, but going in the other direction. And so it's this constant bouncing back and forth. I will say that, oh yeah, I saw that. But I will say, I think we've gone too far now that we've permanently stretched the USD, the dollar rubber band, as it were. There's no way to come back to what we were. There's no way to go back to the normal.
Yeah.
There's going to be it has to be as much as people might hate this,
Say it.
a new normal. Like there's no going back. At least financially, USD. There's no going back to that normal.
Oh, that sucks.
I mean, what it's been? I think it's up to like what 70%.
That we printed.
Yeah, of the U.S. dollars have been printed in the last 2.5 years.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we started talking about it when it was like 35%.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
holy
30s.
shit, 33% of the U.S. dollars, 35% have been printed in the last year, and now it's
Yeah, I'm like, this is a big problem.
yeah, now it's over 50, and it's like and then it was translation.
Transitory
Inflation is transitory,
Yeah.
and then it was inflation is good, and now it's like we're up to 10%
Yeah, and
official.
yeah, and look at some other spots across the world. I think they're up like 14%, 15%.
It depends on where you're at. Like, Libya is a disaster in itself, but there's nations where
Some places in Asia, I think.
yeah, they're like it's 3,000%. It's just your money's completely worthless.
Don't they artificially inflated in China or something like that? I thought I read that somewhere.
China's a whole different.
They're playing 5D
Okay.
chess right there.
But I will say, speaking of China, I've seen more and more mainstream news, China outlets talking about deglobalization. And I was like, God damn it, Jason Sheftel,
Wait, so define
smart
that.
motherfucker. I don't know if you've ever listened to the Jason Sheftel podcast that we've done. We've done 2 of them now. And I think was it the first or second one we did? He was talking about, and that was like close to a year ago. That he says he saw that, like, you know what? I think what we're about to see is a time period of deglobalization, because everything has been, geopolitically tied in. All these countries were trading with each other. We depend on China, and China depends on us for our basketball and Disney movies. And, like, we're connected with Russia.
I get it.
And
Yes.
we're super obviously tied into the Middle East in the UAE for oil and all these things. We're like, he said, like, what I think we're about to see is a national decoupling of nations, and we're going to stop trading in the way that we were.
Nationalization. So you'd be doing it all at home. So you do Intel
Right.
chips here. You would do all your cell phones here.
Intel's about to build a giant
Yeah.
factory in
Yeah,
Ohio, and I saw Germany, they're building one. But like, he basically predicted, it was 6 months, a year ago, that like we're going to see these countries starting to decouple from each other. We're not going to use, whatever it might be, looking at. I just saw the UAE. Was it UAE? I think it was, or Saudi Arabia was considering buying oil in yuan.
yeah.
Yuan or won, right? Won?
Yen.
Sorry, I was thinking
Yeah.
something else. Yeah, yen, the Chinese dollar, instead of the U.S. dollar, which is we've mentioned before. There's some conspiracies
They
that
wanna
maybe
sell their
that's why
oil.
Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein were taken out. All those different things. So
Gotta control that. Oh.
yeah, so there's a weird thing going on now.
You
I'm
smell
like,
something cooking?
yeah. But it was like, oh, like, holy shit, like, because for a while there, I was like, he seems like he might be out, on the outskirts. I don't know what his deal is. He's out there living in California, hanging out, and I don't know. But Jason sounded like he kind of fucking nailed it. If you go back and listen to the podcasts that we did with him, he kind of nailed it.
Okay.
That's pretty wild.
Sweet.
But that's going to be interesting to see what all these countries do as we
Dude, there's
decouple
no
from each
way.
other.
There's no way that we're gonna sit there and just say, screw you, we're making it all here. We're gonna make Intel chips here, sell it, but then we're gonna sell it across seas.
Yeah, but what if? Yeah, so my concern is I will never expect the U.S. government to say, "Screw you, we're making it all here," because we're way too we enjoy getting involved in people's shit way too much.
I think there's
But what if
go ahead.
other people say, "Screw you, we're not selling to you"?
No, they're too greedy. Think of this way.
Mm,
Everything that we have, I mean, this remote right here for the Roku, probably made in China. The keyboard,
oh,
made in
absolutely.
China.
Yeah.
Every single thing that you can think of is probably made in China.
Not this table.
No, that
Well, the
table was-
resin might have been, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, think of it this way. Most stuff is made in China.
Right, but what
So
if?
what's wrong with a little bit of nationalism, right?
Okay, but the problem is what comes in is when, not necessarily that they're going to stop selling stuff to us, but if we are forced to lower our standards for the products that we receive, that we think like. So we've been doing that. We've been doing that for a long time. So that's what's going to happen. Like you look at China. How much shit do we get from China?
Shitload.
Right. Everything. Damn near about.
Yeah.
Probably 70% of. I mean, I don't know what it is. A lot. Shitload. Well, we don't give a shit how they treat their people. We don't give a shit what we have to do to bow down to them. So we keep buying their shit because we couldn't survive without it. So the same thing is when people start waking up to see like this, like the Ukrainian thing we were talking about, like there's this giant outcry for the Ukrainian people, which I get, but like there's people that suffer far worse circumstances around the world.
The Uyghurs?
Yeah, the Uyghurs out of China. I mean, you look at, we just pulled out of Afghanistan and fucked all those people over.
Yeah.
Like, what have we done in Iraq and what's happening in Syria? Like, Syria is, I think you probably get to the point where like we're gonna have to have a new designation for like a fourth world country, because some of these places that we keep pulling out of, we end up turning them into a fourth world country.
Yeah, but were they like that before we got in there?
Yes, but the rest of the world has advanced along with the rest of the world. But then that country, we go in there and we're like, hey, we're gonna make this a better place, and then we actually make it worse. But everybody else continues to grow.
There's a level of stagnancy that
right, and it's like now it's like not only have we haven't made it that much worse because it was already a shithole to begin with, like, but if you make a shithole worse, even if it's just by a tiny little bit, that's making it worse.
It's like I think it's they were talking about with Iraq, you pull out and it's like a void. And look at Afghanistan.
It's a power void.
Right. There was a huge void when we pulled out of Afghanistan so quick. And look what happened.
But they were ready to fill it.
Well, exactly. But well, I'm not going to go down that conspiracy theory kind of thing, but you know, they had a lot of raw materials and China was like knocking on the door saying, "Hey, so you might be the new kid in town here once US pulls out. You want to make some deals?"
Yeah, it's weird.
You know?
And I've heard reports of Chinese military being in those areas too. I mean, who knows? I mean, why wouldn't they? I would if I were them. But I don't know. It's all weird.
Dude,
it's all screwed
That's
up.
depressing, man.
The world's a dark place when you actually start to understand it.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I think we were all, I mean, think of like 10 years ago. How blind were we?
That's all it was.
It's
not that it got, I don't know if it got any worse.
Was going on.
We just started to see it.
Yeah.
Speaking of starting to see it, so I thought about this today, and maybe we can, I don't know what time you got to get out of here, Tom, but I'm assuming it's probably pushing that time. Do you guys ever remember the story? I heard a story so we're all roughly the same age. When watches, this was before phones, when watches started having like the backlighting, like that neon green backlighting. Remember, you push a button and you'd be able to read it.
Are you talking? So I know back in the day they used to use that radioactive material that they would paint on there.
Oh no, I'm talking about like when you push the button.
Oh, okay.
With like battery
I
operated.
didn't know how old you were.
No,
you were
not
going.
that old. Yeah, but like when you like the battery operated, you press the button, like the old what were they called? I can't remember.
G-Shock.
The watch company. No, not the G-Shock.
Timex or
yeah, like those old, like the first time when they came out with like
the phone calculator,
water resistant watches, way before phones. Like when I was like, we're talking like early 90s, I think is when they started.
Wait, you guys have a water resistant phone? No, just play.
No, water resistant. Yeah, I mean, I think mine's water
the
resistant.
Radium girls.
Oh yeah,
that's an interesting story.
Yeah, not that far, that far back. But like you like the Timexes where you click the button and it would light up green just enough to see it at night, and it was like, oh my god, that's so crazy. Did you ever hear a story where somebody like there were like a bunch of people were trapped in a building, and they were able to find their way out because this one dude had a watch.
Really?
It was like this new fancy watch that like had a neon backlighting. So they were able to like, he was able to use it to be able to like help guide them through the dark to like escape this. Like, no, you never heard that when you were a kid?
Heard that one.
I remember hearing that one. It was like, oh.
Was it
man,
was
like,
it bullshit?
I have no idea, but I was thinking like, oh, like I could get one of those watches and be like fucking James Bond, bro. Like I got a special, like, because it was, but even before cell phones.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, you need a flashlight? Let me pull my phone out and blind half of the nation with my fucking cell phone light. I remember that was like, this guy's like like the average day, like James Bond. Like he's got this super special watch.
I can't find it. I've been looking.
It was probably bullshit then.
Great story.
Something your
bro.
mom told you to do, so you wore a watch.
Yeah, it was probably bullshit then. I don't know.
Great advertising campaign by Timex.
Maybe
to
that's
spread
what
that
I-
word.
The sponsor over here, man.
Maybe that's what it
Oh,
was.
I need to switch the camera. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. It was just
Sponsored by Timex.
Sponsored by your 4th dose of Pfizer. Which,
Now we just have Apple watches and stuff.
fuck them.
Come on, man.
I hate Apple.
But it's the same damn thing as Google, man.
Yeah, but there's a lot more flexibility.
To catch a predator right on your wrist there. Don't be breaking any laws.
I don't know where that's coming from, but all right.
No, I mean, because they can track you.
Oh, well, they can track. Well, what watch do you have?
I mean, it's just mine, they could if you
Can't
wanted
track-
to,
Come on, give me shit.
but it's just
You got-
funny.
Oh, okay. You got the G-Shock.
Yeah.
What kind of G-Shock's that?
G-spot.
Like camel one?
Oh, well, I didn't know if I've been looking at them.
Oh.
So I was
I have
looking
no
like
idea.
there's the Mud Master, there's the
Mudmaster.
the range man or whatever like that. Like they all have their own special thing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have no
Mine's-
idea.
Yeah, mine's a Garmin, but just because it's a golf watch.
I got 2 of them and they're
But I-
like the same style. It's old. I mean, I've had it for a long time.
Cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Fucking chat. Well, hey, I don't know if I don't know. We just did something for an hour, I think, and I'm not really sure what I meant at all.
Oh,
But
where's the thingy at?
what thingy?
All the time.
It's up there.
Yeah.
It's up on the left where it's recording stuff.
Oh man, I'm gonna get fired before I get hired. I don't know.
It's fine.
So
You're all right.
is this special at all? This stuff?
It's good.
Store pick 4 roses.
Oh, that's a good one, bro.
I can't believe you let me buy 3 of those.
Why not?
I don't know. Did I tell you that he wanted some grease?
Yeah. I told him. Remember, you were like no, and he still sold it to you. But I was like,
squeaky wheel gets
I
the
was like,
grease.
dude, if you tip him, I'll like, I have
Yeah,
no problem with that.
That was after I told him hell no. Like I looked at him, he's like, hey, I was like, hey, do you mind if I get a third?
yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I might need a little help getting it. I looked at him, I'm like, what? What are you talking about? He's
Hell,
like,
you can't blame the guy for
he's
trying
like,
to get
little
get,
tip.
get some.
I just straight looked at him. I was just like, no, that's not happening.
Yeah. I would have tipped him.
Yeah, because Chad would be the first motherfucker asking for a tip too.
Yeah, I'm cheap as shit.
On that note, unless you have something,
No,
You-
I'm good, man.
you good?
I'm good.
I know you. I think Tony's got to go.
No, I'm
Hey,
not. I'm not chomping, man, at the
Okay.
bit to.
I mean, unless you got something else you want
Me to talk? I don't
I don't
know.
You got anything,
I drove
Chad?
90 on the way here. I drove
to.
all the
You
way
got a
from
speeding ticket last time you
I
were on
know.
your way here. You
I
should
drove-
probably stop doing that.
I drove from Iowa last night.
Dude.
At the whiskey stuff, I drove straight through.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That was what, 8.5 hours?
No, it was 8.
8.
Well, it was like 9 with our stops because I think I had 5 different liquor stores I went to plus a dispensary. So
Amazing.
yeah,
We got the
I had 2
collector.
big ass boxes up there of shit.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. The whiskey hunt's fun, but dude, that one, the Rural Inn, that was in the
The
ghetto.
In the ghetto.
There was literally 3 police cars and I don't know what you call it, paddy wagon, a van.
Yeah.
A
Well,
paddy
Paddy
wagon?
wagon, yeah.
Was this the fucking 50s, bro?
It's a paddy wagon. But I walk
Jesus.
outside half asleep and I've got a shitload of whiskey and there's all this going on. I just sent him a picture. He's like, thanks, bro. I'm like, dude, you have no idea. Like, I had to piss behind a freaking.
I just risked my life.
Yeah, thank you
this
for risking
moment.
your life.
I had to piss behind a freaking dumpster because they don't have a bathroom. And she's like, "Oh, you'll be all right back there." I'm like, "Yeah, unless I get fucking robbed."
Well, I guess you weren't in Ohio.
It was crazy.
I
But
was
they
going
had
to
a
say, because if
sweet-ass
you're in
selection.
Ohio soon, you're gonna you have constitutional carry now.
I know.
Well,
Did you see
it's about
something?
80 more days, I think.
Yeah.
So is it 90 days that they've got that you have to?
It was like from the day that it was signed. It's like
Yeah.
91 days or something.
Yeah, and it was like a week ago or so, or
Yeah,
10
it was a
days
week
ago or
or
whatever.
so.
So then it'll go into effect.
Yeah.
Was it one of our listeners sent me that because we talked about it on the show,
Mm.
and then one of our listeners sent the link to me that I ended up sending to you.
I talked to my dad about that. He's like, I kind of think that people. I think you said that. I think that people should have that basic understanding as to how to handle a firearm before
Yeah,
you start messing with
holding
that.
one.
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be a lot of gun-toting Karens just throwing a hand cannon in their purse and
Yeah, it's gonna be
just
weird.
brandishing it when they're pissed at a stoplight or something.
Well, yeah. Think of it that. So, I mean, I have my CCW or I had it, and you get in road rage sometimes, and it's like, unfortunately, you have. And I say unfortunately, you have the gun in the car. So then you got to really think about it, and you go, "Oh, all right, I need to calm down. I've got this in the car. I need to make sure that nothing happens because it could be skewed as whatever, and they could say literally anything."
That's the hard part. That's where because I thought he was gonna go. Sometimes you get upset and you pull the gun out, and I'm like, what?
No.
I was like,
you
no,
don't.
no, I don't know that.
No,
yeah, no,
no.
I get what you're saying. Though.
I know.
Just you get in an accident or you get somewhere, and next thing you know,
I know somebody.
Police
so listen
realize
to
you're
this story.
even having that's real quick. Like even
You're
having a
good.
CCW, like it's that second thought of fuck. If something happens, whatever happens, and the cops are like, "Hey, let me see your ID," like you have to show, like, "Hey, like, yeah, I'm also a CCW carry."
That's your
like,
license plate. They run that. They can
yeah,
tell.
like it's all connected. So like you're best off to just show them right off the bat. But like, man, something happens where like you getting like even having a CCW, like it's like having a CC or CDL. Where you're like, man, I remember when I used to have a CDL, like I didn't want to go out. Like I wouldn't go to dinner and drink a beer.
Oh yeah,
Because the alcohol
Lower,
threshold
yeah.
is lower. So it's like I don't like just having that, like having this thing. Like I don't like it gives you that like sub level of like consciousness of going, I better be careful.
Oh yeah, because you can't. So if you have a firearm in your car, you can't drink.
Right.
I mean, at all.
Right.
I mean, and the thing is like I thought about that. I'm like, well, I could just separate everything. It's like, no, you literally can't have a firearm in your car.
Yeah.
So I guess I was talking to a gun lawyer one time, and he was like, yeah, if I have my AR in my car, he's like, I'll literally just disassemble it, take the firing pin, throw it in the trash can. He's like, because now it's not a firearm.
Right.
He's like, you can do that. He's like, just take. He's like, I can't tell you how many firing pins I've had to buy because I'll be out. And,
Wait, how does this guy just
dude, he's a whiskey. He's like, what is it? Like the gun lawyer or something like that in Columbus.
Which would probably make sense. So if you think you're just out carrying, if whatever, and then all of a sudden like someone's like, hey, like let's grab a drink. You're like,
son of a bitch.
I got my gun in my car.
Disassemble my handgun, take the firing pin out, throw it in the trash. Damn it.
He's have like a box of firing pins at your
Yeah.
house. I mean, it's illegally though. I could see how it makes sense.
I guess when you make a shitload of money, you can do that. So
yeah. I never thought about that before.
Dude, so I got a quick story about guns. So I have a friend. Guns. Watch out. They're evil. They kill people.
They have.
Well, but people kill people, not guns. So
For the most part.
yeah. Yeah, it just jumps right off the table and just smacks you in the face.
I mean, sometimes guns have killed people.
Okay.
Not frequently.
Anyways. Oh, and I still need to talk to you about aliens, but that's another story.
Yeah, not today.
Not today. No.
I don't have time for that.
That's cool. So there's somebody I know, no names mentioned, that was driving down the road and got into just driving late to get back to work, whatever like that. Was coming up to a car, and the car was in the left lane, 2 lanes. It's a 4-lane highway, right? 2 and 2. Comes up behind him, slows down. Okay, the dude's going slower. Running late for work, the guy is. And so he was telling me, he's like, so I was going up, and the dude started wigging out, like started flailing around and stuff like that. And so he's like, man, I had to back up. He's like, so I backed way off. Because normally he's like, I'm going to be on that guy's ass, get the hell out of my way. I'm going back to work, move. He's like, this guy started freaking out, and he had a CCW in his car. And so he slowed way down, let the dude kind of freak out, do whatever he was going to do. The dude kept messing with him. He's like, I literally have just came up on you. I don't know who you are. And he's like, he's telling me this. And he's like, so he's like, I knew I had my gun in the car. He's like, I started freaking out. He's like, so I just played it cool. The guy still messed with him, got behind him, started flipping him off, got on his butt, took a picture of his license plate. He said he got 2 police officers that night knocking on his door.
Jeez.
And said, hey, what's going on? Heard you had a road rage thing. And the guy's like, yeah, it's kind of crazy. This guy out of nowhere told the story to these cops real quick, just a shortened version. And he's like, it was wild. This guy was like, he's like, why are you guys here though? And they're like, well, so we see your CCW holder. Did you happen to have your firearm with you? And the guy's like, well, it was in my glove box. Why? Well, did you happen to brandish it at all? And the guy's like, no, what do you mean brandish it? Like, get it out? He's like, Yeah.
Brandish. That's such a. I love that term.
Yeah.
Brandish.
So then they're like, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you, they started handing the paper. And it's like, hey, why don't you fill this out? Just fill out, your police report and your side of the story. My buddy looks at him. He's like, no. Am I legally required to do this? And the guy's like, well, no. He's like, then I'm not saying anything else.
Yeah, fuck it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. So my buddy, he contacted that gun lawyer guy because I told him about it.
Yeah.
And the gun lawyer was like, holy shit. He's like, that's more criminal. He's like, I will tell you what. He's like, I will give you the contact to my own personal criminal defense attorney. He's like, he's literally across the street. He's like, he is who I would use if I got in some shit like that. He called the guy and he was telling me this. He's like, yeah. He's like, you live where? He's like, oh, that's the fucking Wild West there. He's like, they try to fuck people over hard for shit.
Just the court system?
Yeah. He's like, the lawyers and stuff like that, they're all, he's like, I don't know. He's like, what'd they say you did? He's like, I'm going to look into it. So.
Yeah, but where's the proof? Where's the video of him brandishing?
None. It was against.
Did the other guy know
that's
somebody?
That's why he said it's the Wild West. He's like, it doesn't matter. He's like, if that guy says that person did that, brandished the gun, he's like, they could fuck you.
Yeah, but dude, there's a burden of proof that lies on something verifiable. Like you can't. You could say anyone does anything, and well, that's cool. You said it, but it doesn't mean it actually occurred.
Right.
Like there needs to be some proof.
Even if you believe it, it's nice, but
yeah,
show me the proof. Show me the money, Jared.
I mean, did he get out? Is he good?
Yeah. So for the last I heard, this was just like 5 years ago, something like that. So I don't know if it's past the statute limits or not. But anyways, the dude, he's like, I guess that lawyer reached out to that police officer because he's like, this is kind of a tactic. He's like, you reach out to the police officer and say, hey, listen, I'm representing so-and-so. I'm just trying to get some more information here so we can, see where we need to do, blah, 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 blah.
Then they knew that he had representation. And taken it serious.
Yeah, I don't want to get into this.
Yeah. So anyways, so that's what he did. Never heard back from the attorney. So the attorney was like, hey, if there's something crazy, he's like, I will get back with you. I will represent you. But if there's nothing, we're going to drop that shit and act like it didn't happen until it's out of the statute of limitation. He's
it's so disgusting to see the way some people like utilize the like judicial system.
Yeah.
Like,
well, come to find out, they looked up the police reports and found that the guy filed a police report for a gun on the highway. And that was the only description. So obviously he told the police officers, he called the cops that the guy was doing something with a gun he shouldn't be doing, aka brandishing or whatever. So, but the guy didn't. And that's the funny part is you could say, right, he had a CCW. He could do anything. You could say, I could be driving down the road and say, Cassie flashed a gun at me, right? And tell the police officer that. Then she's got cops at the door.
That seems awfully lucky that the guy just
picked a guy with a CCW?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wonder what the
maybe he didn't know,
but like how many people have CCWs in them. I don't like out of the how many Ohio CCW holders are there?
I don't know.
Come on, Jamie.
Oh, I know. I'm trying to fucking.
Come on, Castle. God damn it. He's fired.
I know. I'm trying to.
I even told you you'd be good for this job at one day.
Well, here's the thing: is I'm trying to move it on the screen, and I've moved it behind.
See what had happened was.
What had happened was
I moved it behind something, and
now
I can't.
Doing? You know what you're doing.
No, it's like it's behind this thing. You got to peek your head around here so you can. Seriously, I'm sorry. So it's like, if you look up here, so it's literally, it's behind that. Oh, dude, I'm sorry. Okay, I got
132,000.
Oh,
that's
I'm
it.
Fired. Fuck.
Yeah, 2019 they issued 132,000.
You're fired.
Yeah, you're fired.
We brought somebody in from China to take your position. 133,000? Is that what you say? Ohio CCW. What year was that?
19, I think.
So 133,000. What? Fuck, there's got to be.
Well, hold on.
35
last year,
to 50 million people in Ohio?
This one says 97,000 new permits and 72,000 renewed permits issued for 2021.
So that'd be 160.
Yeah.
160,000 in 21. I wonder what's the population of Ohio? It can't be more than 50 million. was thinking like 35 to 45. Just guessing.
What you got, bud?
And
779,000.
779,000 what?
In 19, it said it was 11.7 million.
Oh,
11 million in Ohio?
Yeah,
That's it?
11.7.
Oh,
I
the
thought
Buck-
it was like 30.
here we go.
I
The
thought it was like
Buckeye State
35
is
million.
11.799448.
I was way off.
That's in 2020.
I was like
So 11.8 million people.
3 times off. 4 times off.
It's definitely in the millions, not the 100,000s, like I just said earlier.
Oh,
Like
no,
that
I
was-
thought you were talking about CCW holders.
Oh, no. Tony was spot on with that number.
So we have 160,000 CCW holders
Yeah.
and 11
Well, let's do the
ish
math.
million people, right?
Yeah, that's not a lot of guns.
So that's less than 10%. That's 10%.
Yeah, but that's just CCW. That's not gun owners.
No, not gun owners, but CCW holders. I wonder how many guns there are now.
There's a shitload.
No,
you'd
that's,
never
that's
know
not. You said 10%. 10%, you'd be. I mean, if you have 12 million people, 10% is
100
1.2 million.
Oh, yeah. So it's 1%.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, that's
1%.
super low.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's only CCW, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
my dad has a gun.
Because
He doesn't
that's
have a
because
CCW.
population counts children and everything else.
Yeah.
I wonder how many guns there are in Ohio.
Dude.
Like gun owners,
Wasn't-
like individual gun owners, not guns. Because guns is, I mean,
Everyone.
yeah, Corey basically owns half of Ohio's guns. But I wonder how many like gun owners there are in Ohio. I wonder like the adults. So you have 11 million people. So I'm gonna guess that there's got to be at least what, like 8 million adults. Figure there's
Oh,
probably
dude, here we go. I found it. In Ohio, 40% of adults have at least one firearm at home.
only 40, huh?
Yeah,
That's surprising me.
there's a whole list here.
All the rest of them got in a boating accident and lost them, bro.
Yeah, for
right.
sure.
That's true. I didn't think about because there's up until recently there were barely any laws.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think of those people that were like private sale buying, and
Right.
you don't know that they have guns.
So
So,
40%. That means you're looking at 6 or 5 million people, roughly.
Yeah, 40% of 11.8 million.
Yeah,
Montana has the highest. It's 66% of the
I
adults.
believe. Well, yeah. You know why? Because there's shit out there that will eat you.
yeah, you got grizzly bears.
Mountain lions, tigers, maybe.
That's Texas.
Yeah, of course. I saw an article about that. People are bitching about like 60% of Montanians or whatever owning guns. And they're like, "Oh, you need so many guns." It's like, bitch, because we got stuff that eats us out here.
Yeah,
Like it's
like-
like those people in California that like that woman that knocked that mountain lion off of her kid. Like she punched the mountain lion in the face. Like, you know how bad that could have gone so quickly.
yeah.
So I'm looking at this, and it's, I think the lowest one, Hawaii has 14.9% of adults. Actually, that's not the lowest. New Jersey's pretty low.
I would say New Jersey because they have
Their
their
gun
laws
laws are ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, what is it? Someone breaks in your house and you can't shoot them?
Yeah, you have to say
It's
please
wild.
leave.
I know. I knew some people that lived in Jersey for a while, and it was difficult to get a firearm.
Wasn't Tim Pool talking about that in
Was he?
Jersey? I think
I
he
don't know.
was.
About what?
Like how difficult it is with firearms, and the fact that like if you have a shotgun and someone breaks in your house, like you can't kill them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know those gun laws there in like New York City, like the metropolitan area is.
I think I thought I
Insane.
heard they were changing that in New York because it's unconstitutional or something.
There's been some different. Like they've been trying to change.
Dude, it's
it.
fucking wild. Is in California, you go in and you see people in shopping malls and things like that, or like Walgreens, just go in with a trash bag, and they're just like, "Yep, I need to get some shit."
$900.
Is it $900?
Yep. Isn't that what it was? $900.
Yeah, I think so.
$900.
Yeah, I think it was the threshold was 900.
Yeah, if you don't steal more than $900 worth of stuff, they
But
won't
It's
charge
not even
you.
really that. I saw just like blatant fucking just like we're smash and grabbing like jewelry stores and like we're just gonna rob people in broad daylight. And
Yeah.
there's like Rodeo Drive, like they're sitting there just fucking robbing people. Like they don't care.
Yeah, the populated areas of California are pretty much
That's crazy.
shit.
It's absolutely crazy.
I wonder how much of that is connected. We'll probably end up wrapping this up here, but I wonder how much that connected is with weather. Because I heard somebody talking about like, I was thinking about this. So we live Northeast Ohio is where we're,
Yeah,
Jungle.
nobody's protesting in snowstorms.
yeah. Well, like so, like,
Eskimos.
but like I was thinking about that, like, there's a lot of people, there's not a ton of them, but there's a lot of them that like in these areas that are heating their houses with wood and different things like that. And it's like, man, when you go outside and it's 10 degrees, you don't have a whole lot of like effort to go and just fuck around just for fucking around's sake. So it's like, I'm trying to survive up here. Like it's -5 degrees. I'm trying to like, I got firewood to split. I got like shit to worry about.
Yeah. Or
when it's
the rural versus urban. I mean, you're rural. What are you doing? You're working.
Yeah. You got shit to take care of.
You have a mortgage. You have kids.
Yeah. I was actually talking to somebody on the way up here the last time, not telling the podcast, but it was Kim who I was telling you about. Her and I were talking about, why more rural people don't go out and protest, or blue collar people don't go out and like sit there and burn down buildings and stuff. It's like, we got shit to do, man.
I'm too busy working my fingers to the bone.
Yeah. I'm too busy paying these taxes that pay for you guys to be able to protest because you're not working.
But they think about that. Like how many like conservative, like we got like the truck thing, right? And that was like, ooh, that's, worse than January 6th or whatever. Then there's the January 6th thing. It's like, but man, we ain't burning down buildings, Just saying.
So I'm gonna just say that I think all of those things are very, very different, and there are connections that you can draw, and there are definitely connections that are legitimate to connect. But I think there's a lot more than just.
I know because you think that there's like the FBI infiltrating the stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's that too. But I think there's just a lot there.
I'm just saying in general. So if you think of a conservative subset of people and a more liberal subset of people, the more liberal subset of people were down in the BLM, riots and stuff like that. The conservative ones were not dicking around with that.
I get what you're saying, but I think it's just maybe this is how I feel about the more liberal you align with, the more likely you are to align with the folks of the BLM movement.
Okay.
I don't know if it's necessarily a time or how much you work or anything, but I don't think there's anything that goes into it. I think it's just your ideals are, we're not going to discuss it. We can discuss it someday, but I think maybe even that was the point of some of those movements, was to try to connect to that subset of people,
that emotional subset,
that emotional connection with people. And I don't think that was a mistake. I think some of it was because, like we've talked about, I think a lot of those most of the protests were peaceful. And I think I get behind most of the protests, but I think it was one of those things where you can connect it with never let a catastrophe, or never let this thing or that thing go to waste. And I think a large part of the burning buildings and the mayhem were just people taking advantage of a situation. So I think those are two very different things.
Because I see exactly what you're saying. Because I think of it like an onion, right? The surface level stuff is really what I was talking about, and like you're down there talking about
you have to.
Why are the bricks showing up? And who's busing the people from Mexico up?
And why, like if this is
most people don't think about that shit,
right?
Though.
If this is an organic protest, say you have 20,000 people at a big city protest, which is a lot.
Right.
Say you have 20,000 people at a protest. Well, it's 19,000 of them are probably they have the right heart and mind and spirit behind it. They are peaceful.
Absolutely.
They're going out there and actually they're giving a fuck.
But don't get me wrong.
But those 1,000 are staying behind. And those we saw those, I saw pictures and videos of like U-Hauls showing up, and they throw up in the hall. All of a sudden they have like these like man-made like shields and bricks and different things. Like, so if you have 20,000 people, 19,000 over there for a good reason and legitimately, but it's those 1,000 people that stay after when it gets dark and start fucking shit up. Like, where are those 1,000 people from? That, I think that's the differentiation.
Getting flown in from Oregon.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that happened, but we have to be able to separate those and say like,
that's wild.
Hey, this is separate from the cause. And if you don't do that, I think
it
you kind of do yourself a disservice.
It muddies it on both sides, right?
Yes.
So the January 6th thing got muddied by a lot of the same kind of shit that was going on. You see the people that are at the front like, come on, let's go get them. And people are like, no, we're not doing that. Calm down. We don't fucking align with you. Get out of here, dude. And
you can't make them. leave.
Yeah, you can't because they're there for a reason.
Right.
And the same thing with the BLM stuff. Like, let's go set this shit on fire. It's like you have a certain subset of people that are instigators.
Yep. And when you have that many people together, whether it be, if you've ever been to a
Mob mentality.
concert that's like not like a hard rock concert
Yeah.
or like a
Like a mosh
metal
pit?
concert, when the mosh pit starts, there's a lot of people that are like, but then it starts and you're like, fuck it, why not? Let's throw some people around, and it's fun until all of a sudden people are getting fucking knocked unconscious and getting trampled on. It's like, oh shit, like I didn't mean to do that.
Bro, I've seen you in the thick of a mosh pit.
Oh, I've
Like
fucking
having
I'm on.
fucking a blast.
I
And
love
you
it.
you pulled my ass out of the mosh pit one time.
Did I?
Yeah, because it was Roverfest and I got pulled into it.
I'm usually
You were the
9 sheets to the wind at Roverfest.
yeah, you were fucked up. But you were having a blast. Like you were doing like
yeah, but I was like 230, 240 at the time, so there's not a whole lot of people that I'm too worried about. So I'm like, fuck it, bring it, let's go.
you were doing like the whole like going hard thing, and then I got pulled in. Some fucking jackass pulled me in, and I was looking for you. I was like, fucking Fred. And you just grabbed my shirt, and I think you just gave an elbow to his face, like you had a munch on your elbow real quick.
Maybe.
And then it was like the guy was like, motherfucker, and you're like, probably not. And he's like, yeah, that's not a good idea. You're right.
Yeah. So you realize how quick
It
those
escalated.
outside
I think Mandy
influences-
almost got brought in.
those outside influences can happen.
Because it's just like one person says, fuck you. And the other person's like, hey, come on, fuck this guy, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, fuck this guy.
Yep. That's exactly
Mob
how
mentality.
that mob mentality works.
Yeah, dude. Roverfest. I'm confused.
No, we're not going to. That wasn't
know.
Roverfest. We're not going to go there.
I know. We should tell that sometime.
Sometime.
Good.
Maybe we'll leave that for sometime. But I have no idea what we just talked about for an hour and a half or whatever it is. But hey, thanks, Tony, for hanging out.
Always,
And,
man. Pleasure's always.
Chad showing up,
Yeah.
dropping off the deliveries like a badass.
Yeah. I can't even count how many things I've dropped off.
Well, I don't think he's stopping anytime soon. So hopefully
I'm
someday.
probably going out to Iowa again sometime here real soon. And then I'm going to go out to
Yep.
California.
Ooh.
If you can figure out how to send back stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go to Denver and then Florida. And I think that's it.
Okay.
There we go.
We'll talk.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm out of stuff. Thanks for letting me run the board and talk a little bit. I wasn't
Yeah.
really planning on it.
Yeah, me either. Hey, thanks, guys.
Good
Yeah, dude.
times.
Thank you for joining us today. Remember, check out the website, chronic-curiosity.com, to join us at the forum, have some fun, interaction, pick you up a comfy t-shirt, or if you just want to support the show and donate, all that is on the website as well. Thank you. Until next time. See you.